say the struggle keeps you humble. She been struggling her whole life. Made a promise to never go back to her old life.
Oh, what's up, man? Classik Da Rapper, aka Classik God. Chilling. Beautiful day. Do this thing, man. How you rep society? You know what it is. How did I develop myself? That's a good question. Alright, so let's just start from the bricks. I grew up in LA. Went to Crenshaw High School. A lot of people know me from there. I started off doing poetry, believe it or not, and I kind of just always loved music. Always loved music. But I never really saw myself doing music. I was a basketball player at the time, obviously. I know it's funny, most basketball players usually end up rapping, which is crazy, or vice versa. But basketball. I did a poem one day. It was called "Dear Thugs and Niggas," and I thought it was dope. I thought it could actually go to a beat, and it did. It went perfect to a beat. I did it. I recorded it. I was like in 11th grade. But my sound didn't come around honestly till like 2 years ago. The sound that I know, you know what I mean, that's mine, that I'm a grasp and take with me and expand out to the world, that I have now, that didn't come until about 2 years ago, and it really came from my wife, man. I gotta big up her for that, because she's a very knowledgeable woman, and I think she kind of just opened my eyes not to be out here just making songs about keep the wrists on froze, big wheels, you know, shit like that. So yeah, it really came from her. I developed it. I was actually seasoned as an artist, a recording artist, because I was in the studio every day. So I just kind of figured out a way to relay my message within the music. What gets me up in the morning is my family. That's first and foremost. Well, now let me take it back. The creator gets me up in the morning, but then what gets me going is my family. I definitely want to just see progression. Progression is my number one thing. It's a big decision. I would say I want to do something real big in Leimert Park, and that's because I grew up there. Number one, I grew up off 11th Avenue, 48, before we moved. And then also, my uncle and my dad had their businesses in Leimert Park, which my family still owns one of the buildings in Leimert Park. So I think it would be a big up to my community, number one. You know, a lot of rappers, they get famous and they want to go do shows at Staples Center. I'm gonna do it right here in Leimert Park, and I'll do it for free. You know, it's not really nothing for me to do it either. People get bigger than what they are in their own thoughts, you know. But not to knock nobody, but that's what I would want to do in Leimert Park, man. Y'all find out about Leimert Park. So, let's watch that movie, Top 5, y'all. Y'all seen it? Let's watch that movie. That's funny. Cause everybody's top 5 on that movie was legitimate, and I could understand why they would be in the top 5. That's very hard. I'm putting Kendrick at number 5. I put Kendrick at number 5 because of his substance and his substance of home. He brought back substance to rap. A lot of rap started going to stanky legs and, you know, lean with it, rock with it, and, you know, rap started losing identity. And when it loses identity, that gives the industry a chance to come in and take it. You know, just like with every music. Jazz, we lost our identity, jazz, they took it. Rock, we lost our identity in rock and roll. People don't even believe that rock and roll was started by black people. It definitely was. They took that. R&B, which ain't nothing but what they call country music. They just use, you know, a guitar and say, oh, it's country music, you know, acoustic guitar. That don't make any sense. But everything that we have created, if we don't keep the identity of it, it can get taken. So I saw hip hop, and I think Kendrick did too, take a turn for the worse when he put all that commercialized, straight up bullshit. You know, so when he dropped his album and it was actually lyricism, and it had actually subject matter, and it wasn't just the old heads. And when I say the old heads, I mean Jay-Z and Nas, and people like Method Man and Redman, and the Wu-Tang Clan, people like that have to keep putting out albums 20 years after they prime to bring back substance in the game. That shouldn't have to happen. Especially when we were the generation that was listening to these cats. Where did our creative, where did our creativeness go? And we can't think of nothing but new things, So Kendrick, I give it to Kendrick. And number 5, and number 4. I give it to Game. Game is very Game is extra talent, number 1. If anybody knows Game, they know he's super extras. But he is a smart dude. I think he's a good dude at heart, and I think that Game is overlooked when it comes to being someone who can actually deliver a great song. Like he had some great albums. And he don't need Dr. Dre, he don't need 50 Cent to stand alone. Alright, so coming in at number 3, it's Public Enemy, my man Chuck D, Crazy Ass Record Play. Man, what can I not say about them? They rocked out the late 80s and the early 90s, and they definitely brought that revolt to the game. Number 2, what if I just said Chingy? That would not be accurate. No, but let me see. Number 2, man. Alright. Now I gotta let the big fellas out. That's hard. A lot of people don't even know about this dude, but I'm gonna put him at number 2, Big L. Big L, man. Big L was one of the dopest MCs that I've ever heard, like on a beat. Period. The beat could be it could be the weakest beat that you've ever heard that somebody made in 2 seconds on the MPC, and he will have a punchline for that ass every other bar. Big L inspired a lot of these cats who, like, I guarantee you, if you ask Cassidy if he ever emulated Big L and he says no, he's a liar. Like, all these dudes that use punchlines have definitely heard Big L rap, or Big L freestyle, or sing him in a battle, whatever. If he would have been, that tragic situation wouldn't have happened with him dying, Big L would have been, it wouldn't, I don't think people like Drake would be able to survive right now, not without a battle. Like, you can't keep going around just making women's songs, man, and expecting to just not get stepped to. You claim to be a lyricist, and that's what I respect about Kendrick. He challenged everybody to get back to rapping, man. It's a sport. I remember in high school when me and my boys started out rapping, I say my verse, he'd say his verse, just see who was better. It was about who had the better punch. You got a dope punchline, I give you that. It's dope. We congratulate each other on having a dope verse. Nowadays, it's just like, oh, can I put some words that fit in this, between this hook and make a song? I mean, I get that. I understand that you're gonna have to have singles to sell records, but where's the fun? That's what brought the fun. People don't even realize battling is still a huge industry today. They make millions of dollars off this shit. The big ones. But Big L, man, he definitely, in the short time that he was here, he had a big, huge imprint on the hip hop culture, and he still gets recognized for it. But I want to keep his name out there because I want the younger generation to go ahead and research Big L. So Big L at number 2, and at number 1, Michael Jackson. No, I'm just playing. Number 1, the rapping Michael Jackson, Tupac, because of his influence. and his influence was so strong that they had to get rid of that dude, because he would have changed not only the game, but he would change the world. He would have changed the world as we know it, as how we live in it, and he was already doing that. He was already uplifting the vibrations of the people through his music and through his actions, because they can tell just by listening to Pac and seeing his actions, that dude was just real. He was just real honest. Yeah, he'd tell you, yeah, you know what? I didn't rape that chick, but I did get some head from her on the floor. Like, you know, at least he was real about it. He was honest. You can't never fault him for being a liar. I don't ever think he lied to his fan base. I don't think he lied to his people. And he brought it raw. He was literally born out of captivation in a cell. His mom was in jail while she was pregnant with him, and that's what he came out to be. He came out to be a rebel and was rebelling against anything that was wrong. And a lot of people say, oh, Pac wasn't a lyricist, but you got to be out your mind and think Pac wasn't a lyricist. Pac was definitely a lyricist. He just wasn't a, he had punchlines and shit like that, but neither does T.I. A lot of people put T.I. in their top 10, so I just think he stood for a lot. He was hip hop, you know, and he still is. You can go to Africa and they got Pac on the walls in Africa. So when you got that much of the influence, I think you deserve to be #1 when everybody thinks that. So yeah, fuck Pro Tools, man. It's all Pro Tools' fault. It's all Pro Tools and YouTube's fault. If it wasn't for Pro Tools, it would still be only a certain type of artist that was able to get in. I think the internet, absolutely, and I think Pro Tools going public, because Pro Tools have always been around, it just wasn't available to the public. Only the industry people knew about it, only artists and other engineers and producers knew about it, and people that worked in the entertainment industry, I mean as far as the music industry. So once that went public, and anybody can, you know, a 13-year-old kid can go buy Pro Tools, set it up, get a mic, record a dumbass video, and then put the shit up on YouTube, and this motherfucker fuck around and get 10,000 likes on that shit. I don't get it. But that's what the internet has done. What it's done is taking a lot of jobs out of the industry too, as far as A&Rs. A&Rs, all they gotta do is go on YouTube. They don't have to go search. I remember the story about Steve Stout when he went to look for Nas. Like, that was dope. That's dope in itself. Just like somebody actually, like A&Rs was looking for you. Like, they came to your borough to find you. Almost got killed looking for Nas. Like, I think that's dope. But that don't happen nowadays. It's like, oh, where'd you find Soulja Boy? On YouTube. Oh yeah, like, you know. But I think it did help too, because say for instance, like artists like myself, I could still be seen by people even though I'm not on a major label or I don't have major promotion like that. I can promote myself. So I do think there's pros and there's cons of the internet, and I definitely think it's been watered down, man. Hip hop, and I'm not saying nothing about down south. I don't think I'm saying nothing bad about down south, because you got Scarface that came out the south, and Scarface is like one of the dopest MCs, period. But they kind of messed it up, man. When he went down south and it was more focused on that, remember they had the Miami bass music and all that, yeah. When that started coming out, man, it took hip hop another way. Don't get me wrong, it was cool for a second. Like that's what I respected about Jay-Z doing that Death of Auto-Tune song, because it was like, yeah, it's cool, man. You know, yeah. We did your thing with that. All right, let's get back to real music. Let's get back to what hip hop is. Hip hop is your message on how you perceive your upbringing and your environment and what you're going through. You know, it's your poetry, and that's how people are going to receive it. So if you gotta be shitting me if you think you growing up in the ghetto caused you to make a lean with it, rockin' with it type song. That's not relaying a message. That's not standing for nothing. That's just saying I'm doing this so I can get a check. That's understandable. Yeah, if you want to feed your family, that's a good question, and that's a really good question because I've contemplated on that myself, just thinking to myself, what do I want this? What do I want this for? Because I could just stop if I'm not doing it for a purpose. Love is the strongest frequency, one of the strongest frequencies in the universe. Love is much more. They say fear is stronger than love. That's a lie. Because I tell you one thing, people love Michael Jackson. And when Michael Jackson died, there's people that killed their own self. Literally, people committed suicide because Michael Jackson died. Like that, there was no fear in that. They just took their life because of how much love they had for this dude. And same thing with Pac. I think people have overlooked fear when it comes to just liking Pac, loving Pac. He has so much love in him that you had to be a crazy person not to show love back. And I think that's what I want to resonate with my fans is the love. The reason why I'm doing it is the love that I got for y'all. And like I'm really willing to sacrifice myself for the future, for the next generation, so that they will have something. You know, just like my father goes, I want to get a home for my kids, so if they ever do bad, they got somewhere to be, you know, and that's just for them, period, in life. So my goals as an artist is the same thing. I want to create a platform for the future, so if they ever go astray, they always got something that they can fall back on. And I think that's what a lot of people are thinking about. Most people are thinking about themselves. You know, most people are thinking about how I'm going to get paid, how I'm going to get a check. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, the money's going to be there. It's the music industry we're talking about. It's nothing but money in it. So I know money going to come. But what I want to resonate with them in their minds is to remember the love that I showed and why I did it. I don't need no recognition, really, honestly, to tell you the truth. I could care less about it as long as what I started keeps going. You know, that's what is important to me. Shout out to June Monroe. That's my wife. She's gonna be a dope artist. She's gonna kill it. She's gonna bring her own perspective to it. I think it's the perfect time for her because she's a female artist, and there's a lot of females out there that's losing their way. They in the club talking about bitch, I'm a fucking bitch, and all that stupid shit like that, and that's not cool. Like, women gotta start respecting themselves. Men ain't gonna respect you till you respect yourself. You know, women have a lot of control. I think James Brown had it wrong. I think it is a female's world, and I think none of us would be here right now if it wasn't for a woman. So, I think that's gonna be a good thing. So shout out to June Monroe, shout out to the kid, shout out to Digga Warner, shout out to the whole Higher Society, shout out to Flame. I'm sorry, you don't like me calling Flame. Shout out to D Minor on the beats. You know, that's another producer I work with. He's dope. Shout out to Scrappy Valentino, man. Where you at, man? Find yourself and then come back. And shout out to y'all, man, for allowing me this opportunity to get on camera and speak my mind.
Tell them devils I'm a guy. Mix that potion, watch me now. Infiltrate and take the tie. Can't forget about I'm a star. Tell them devils I'm a guy. Mix that potion, watch me now. Infiltrate and take the tie. Can't forget about I'm a star. Tell them devils put your body in a trance. Mix that potion, watch me now. Infiltrate, put your body in a trance.